It's kind of like this whole community thing. Like, you know, this clapping at 8 o'clock or whatever it is. I refuse. I'm not doing it.
Oh dear.
I'm not doing it. My sister's in the NHS. She's a paramedic.
Clap
and then
for
she said to me,
her. When she comes through the door.
yeah, oh, exactly. Like, fuck, no, I'm not doing that. No way. And but she said at first she was like, "Why aren't you clapping and stuff?" She didn't get it, and then now she gets it. She's like, "I understand why you're doing it now." These like, there's stuff going on. Like, people are out there clapping, and I'm not saying these people are bad people, whatever, but I see that as making themselves feel better, like clapping, because it's not helping anyone. It's not helping the NHS. It's not helping my sister who's doing but she's not getting the protective equipment. Like, there's doctors and nurses who are going underpaid, overworked, overstressed, and everyone out is clapping as if people can spend claps.
Well, you should do a Thursday GoFundMe, and everyone puts in some money and rounds up.
Yeah, there's something, bro. They set up a GoFundMe. Like, they set up a GoFundMe in like 1945. It was called the NHS tax system. So you pay your taxes, and it's meant to go to the NHS and support them, but it doesn't. It goes somewhere else, Branson's private island or whatever. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying though, because like for me, the NHS has been doing this. This is not new for me. Like, they've been putting their life at risk and you know, caring for others for the longest amount of time.
But, sorry, I meant to say the whole point was the whole community thing. Like, there's this vapid show of clapping, which is meant to be community, but it ain't really. Like, people ain't doing real, like, it's not real community stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's the point I was trying to make. But then that was a bit of a depressing note. Sorry.
It is a little. It is, but I think it's just. I think it's just what it is. What it is. I think it's just the harsh reality, if you like, which I feel like no one really wants to know anymore. And you're so much in your bubble that, did you like? People are so warped with. I keep using that word, but with their mindset that they're more likely to have a go at someone because they've seen them walk twice.
Maybe it's but how do you know it's not your mindset though? How do you know you're not in the matrix with them?
Oh, I am.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, 100%. No, 100%. But this is why I like to talk, because I understand I'm in the matrix with them. But it's a lot. It's one thing being in the matrix, and it's another thing knowing you're in the matrix. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. If I know what's happening and I can see it happening, you know, whatever. But you guys are almost deluded as to thinking, like you say, as to thinking that clapping is helping. You've deluded yourself into believing that, and you've just turned around and went, "I'm not doing it." Now, someone will then turn around to you and be like, "Oh, I can't believe
I've had a lot of that.
You didn't clap after all they do for you." And you then turn around to them and be like, "Yeah, but my sister's at NHS. I made her a nice meal. I'm doing something for her that's going to make a bigger difference than clapping."
Yeah, I did do that. I did make her a nice meal, actually.
But this is my, I'm just, you know what I mean?
I also made a nice meal for me as well.
Oh, whatever, we won't get into that. But going away from your helping you, mate.
Yeah. No,
but there's a difference with knowing. Like, I'm doing it when I say I'm doing it. I did it for the first 3 times. Then I didn't.
Yeah, I did it the first time.
Yeah,
but it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice. Then I just felt a bit like, this is weird.
What was nice about it is everyone was saying that we appreciate what you're doing for us. That's
almost like we should pay them more money.
That's what it was the first few times, and then it develops into something else, like every other movement that ever exists.
Yeah, true.
It starts off with the right idea, and then turns into something completely. It evolves when some things can just close. You know, you have a movie, it's a good movie, Then the second one, and you're like, it's not as good as first, but it's quite good. And the third one comes out and goes, weren't as good as the other 2, but bearable. Don't make a 4th. Don't make a 4th. Like,
Don't make a 4th one.
But this is the thing. So you had them on the bridge, yeah? All the police officers coming out and everyone's in, and the crowd was like fairly small to start with. By the end of it, yeah, social distancing, dude. The whole of the freaking country's on the bridge.
Yeah, I know, man. That was bad.
Next to each other. You got police officers that were just saying, "Stay in your house," standing next to the people that's there clapping, and you've got all these, and it's like, are you guys all right? Like, did you not see how this is contradicting to everything that you?
Yeah,
what did you clap for in the first place? How did they develop into this?
Did you see that video of that woman in I don't know, some American state like Texas or something? I think it's probably Florida. Like, it's probably Florida. Let's be real, it's probably Florida. So a woman walks into like some shop with a mask on, and she's got a slit from her nose.
Idiot. Yeah. Idiot.
Oh, like, I can't believe that on some level I'm genetically related to that person. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with people? But that sort of stuff, the clapping thing and the going on for too long. Like, whenever I see stuff like the police out and the clapping on the bridge and stuff, it's getting filmed. I don't know if it's bad, but my cynical mind kicks in and I'm like, this is all for PR. You're doing this so that I like you. So I'm like, nah, no.
Of course. Why would you let this slide, but yet you're only allowed to have one run? What? Like, it's so contradicting, and obviously contradicting, because all of the law enforcement is there too.
Man.
You're encouraging it because you're like, it's just so stupid. But this is what I'm saying, where it starts off as one thing and develops, it just goes left. Like, it just develops into something completely different. Like, I don't want to be a part of that anymore, because what it started with is not where it is now. And I think that's,
you know why? Is that because when people start things, they get in there for like the right intentions? They were there, they understand why it's meant to be happening, but then you get bandwagon jumpers.
You get
like people that just jump in just to be part of it.
100%, but the people that started it get greedy. Because, like I said, you've got 3 successful films, dude. Why are you still making a 4th, 6th? Like,
what film have you watched recently that's got you?
I don't know.
Star Wars.
No, like, I said, I think it's weird for me personally. I think all these things start one way, end up going somewhere completely different, and then the people who are like, nah, I'm not involved in that because that is not what I signed up for or even care about, then get ambushed. And I think it's, again, greed, because they get the taste of something and they push for something else. They do a feminist movement to get equal pay, and then before you know it, it's going to be like, well, equal's not enough. We have to go through so much more. We want more. We want this, because you're now taking it to what? You've lost the point. Like, you've just lost
the point. Man.
So that the example that the whole ring girl thing, that's what killed me on that movement. I'm not going to get into that too much today, but
what's that?
The whole, so I don't know if it was this morning or whatever, one of them shows, and there was a bunch of ring girls on there, or models, whatever.
Right.
There's another.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Right. So everyone was blasting them because they were kind of saying, well, what you're doing is degrading and da-da-da-da. And they're like, yeah, but the whole point of the feminist movement is I have choice. Like, I can do what I want to do. And it's not subject, it's to, you know what I mean, to any kind of...
Yeah. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, stop moaning at me.
And what you're saying is, yeah, but I shouldn't be doing it. Why are you doing it now? You've got someone there. Like, you've lost the point. So now you want to turn to me as a man and say, and you want me to turn to me as a man and say, and make me take this seriously in its entirety. How can I take it seriously? You're now having a go at a woman for doing what she wants to do because it's not in your agenda, which wasn't the original agenda that you started with. And then you're going to turn to me and be like, yeah, but you should want this. Are you all right? Like, it's like, and this is why I say it's a warped mentality, because I just follow the trail and I'm like, well, how did you get there? That doesn't make sense. Like,
mate, I think that's just people, man. I think we all do that, because I read something quite interesting the other day. I can't remember where I read it, but they were saying, like, you think of yourself as quite rational, don't you? Like, you think you think yourself quite rational, and I would agree. I think you're quite a rational person, but it turns out, according to research, you're not. That everyone bases their decision making on some kind of emotional response. It's always you're always going through emotional response when you're doing stuff. It's not you're not using your thinking mind, which is interesting, isn't it? Because that's really why
I can't say always, but I would say to the majority of what everyone does and says, I would say that's accurate, because ultimately, if you didn't have the emotion driven behind it, why the heck would you do anything? Because it's logical. Who does that? Are we robots? Like, everything's driven by emotion. The fact that I think it's so stupid about that last movement that I just said is because it's so stupid. Like, that's an emotional attachment to how foolish it is. Like,
you get emotional over stupid people.
Yeah, but it's true, because it's like, but it's not stupid. It's not even over stupid people. It's over people who have missed their own point.
Yeah.
But then looking at me like I've missed the point. You've missed your own point. Like,
yeah, I feel you, man. Yeah, that's really funny. That's funny, isn't it?
I don't know. That's just my thing, anyway.
But it's funny how it happens with everything. Like, it's not just like you pick feminists there, because they're obviously quite a loud, visible. I'm getting myself in trouble there, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But then you get like the fucking male feminists that are out there dressed up as superheroes climbing buildings and stuff. Like, what's going on there? Okay, now they're more famous for being fat superheroes than they were for what their original point was.
That started, for equal rights for fathers and their children. That's where it started, me.
Oh, no, mate.
Where the heck is it gone? Where's it gone?
It's gone left.
Stop. 1, 2, 3. Good. 4. No good. Stop the movie. Like, you're spoiling a classic. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Like, you doesn't make sense anymore. You got your point across. Did things change? If it did, good job. Pat yourself on the back. Leave it there. Why does it have to evolve into something else? So we're so busy fighting problems that we are creating. You're creating them to fight them. So much so that the people you are creating them for do no longer agree with what you're doing. What sense does this make?
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes, like, there's that one with Piers Morgan and this whole gender neutral gender stuff, and he obviously he gives it and he gets ridiculed for a lot of stuff. And he's kind of giving it, and this guy's arguing with him. And then they brought someone who is transgender in the discussion, and she turned around to this guy that was supposedly defending her, and said, I do not agree with what you're saying. I actually find what you're doing now more offensive than what Piers is doing. The guy still tried to argue. Dude, you're arguing for her. That's so dumb. It's like you walking into a court, your lawyer's there. He started your argument, and then he flipped it. And no longer was arguing for you. Started arguing.
He's trying to get you convicted.
It's like, dude, you're not my lawyer anymore. You're fired. That doesn't make sense. What we started as is completely different to where we are now. You are not transgender, but you're arguing for the rights of transgender people, while someone transgender is saying, that's not what I'm trying to fight for. You're being offensive. And then you continue to try and help that person while they're wrong. What? And you're telling me that's not warped?
Yeah, that's like some kind of mental illness. That's fucked.
But this is what I'm saying. And this is why I feel like the
whole gender debate, to me, has got completely out of control.
Absolutely.
And the reason I feel so incensed, and I'll come to India in a moment, the reason I feel incensed about this 100 gender thing, imagine being India Willoughby, who's gone through transitioning, which is an extraordinarily difficult, emotional, psychological and physical process, lasting a long period of time. And then when you finally get to transition to be a woman, right, having wanted to be that your whole life, then you get told, actually, it's meaningless because there are now 100 ways to identify gender.
Well, let's hear from India.
Yeah, I think Piers is a beacon of light, and most trans people, and I'm actually going to use the word transitioners here, because transgender now has become something completely different. Transgender now is about floating about in the middle, no commitment, you pick and choose who you want to be. And with the greatest respect, I don't need any gay people coming in to represent me, because I'm trans. It's not the same as being gay. And if you're saying that, you know, this is making a mockery of gender, well, what's your views on drag? I find drag far more offensive than anything that Piers says.
Drag isn't a gender.
Gay. No, but drag is gay men dressing up as women in a flamboyant way, exaggerated mannerisms.
Drag is a beautiful
gender.
art.
No, it's not a beautiful
India,
art
do you not
whatsoever.
accept? It is. That's a ridiculous
It's
comment.
not.
Do you not accept, though, that you identify as you're a trans woman?
No, I no longer. Do you know what?
Woman?
I no longer identify as trans because it's become so embarrassing because of people like you and what you champion.
Oh, India.
I'm ashamed of it.
You must
awful.
accept. There are bigoted people in this country.
I don't accept there are 100
There are
genders.
bigoted people in this country who don't recognise your identity. Why is it okay when you recognise that is unacceptable and bigoted for you to turn to non-binary people and say you don't recognise their identity? Isn't that a race to the bottom?
How can non-binary be transgender? What exactly are you transitioning?
Well, it's under the umbrella
You don't
term.
even believe in gender. So how can you be transgender?
The world is going mad. It's just for things like that. Just no one reflects anymore. Everyone is looking outward. No one looks inward. And I do things that are negative sometimes. I do things that I might not be, proud of or whatever. However, I can look inward and reflect on that. If you give me something that I should reflect on myself, I'm going to at least consider it. I might throw it out the window after, but I'm going to go through that self-reflection process.
Yeah.
I have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people do not know how to self-reflect. Everything's outward. If you get enough likes, what you're doing is right. That's not...
Yeah, man. Well, it's the opinion of the masses, isn't it? It's like, that's why I don't have Facebook, because that it's a powerful thing, man. It's like you can be the most conscious of it that you are, and you still get influenced by the masses and the opinions of others. And you're right, you should consider the opinions of others, but you should reflect on how, like, your own views and values and that sort of thing, and see if it makes sense.
Well, this brings it back to, even I had to make the decision recently of how I kind of function, what we're doing and how we're going to put this together and what platform and whatever. And this is why I was like, I want it to be a group. I'm not saying I don't want it to be open. I'm saying everyone join the group, great. But I need it to be a group, yeah? Because I don't want it to go too far away from the whole point. It's not about just getting likes. It's about getting people talking. It's about sparking conversation. So if I go and put it out there and I push it like it's an advertisement and just push it like, the only reason I want more people to be in it is because I want to hear from more opinions.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only, like, I want you to challenge my brain. I'm saying this. What are you saying? Like, that's why I'm doing it.
You want an open dialogue, like an open discussion.
Dialogue. I want people talking about these things. I don't want people scared to talk about these things. I don't want people scared to be wrong, because that's the other thing, Scared to be wrong. It's the worst thing. I've got polls on there and stuff, and obviously on the polls you can see other people's opinions, because someone's going to like something and say that's true, and someone's going to say no, that's true. And people probably won't vote because they're scared of being wrong. I don't care. You can't be wrong in your opinion.